Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your May 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you want to help out this channel and really support this community, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That would help me out so very much. So thank you so much for that. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, let's let the bull sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't hitting anything. Okay. How will Aries be affected by the May 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the May 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Oh, fantastic. So think of this as a tree. On the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. These are the branches. This is the bark and the roots. Okay, so let's see here. We have the Ace of Swords and the Hierophant. Hierophant represents Taurus energy, time frame April 20th to May 20th. We have the World and the Hermit. Hermit represents Virgo energy, time frame August 23rd to September 22nd. Then we have the Ace of Wands with the Queen of Wands in the public arena. Now, Aries, we are represented by the Wands in the minor arcana. We are represented by the Emperor in the major arcana. So in the public arena, we're getting a gift. There's power to us. If we're born on the cusp with Taurus, that part of our personality is going to come out very strongly during this time. We have the Four of Cups, and we have the Nine of Pentacles at our root. Now, this is a very, very special full moon. This full moon is called the flower moon, named so by the Native Americans for the flowers that bloom in May. So it's very, very beautiful. It is the biggest moon of the year, has astoundingly strong energy because it is the second supermoon, and it is going to be the moon that is the closest to the Earth in 2021. There is a lunar eclipse, and this is the first lunar eclipse of the year, and we have this all right here. So the moon is also in Sagittarius, and it being in Sagittarius, it is ruled by benevolent Jupiter, and now is the time to laugh rather than to judge, and that's what we need more of in this world. So with this lunar eclipse, it brings a blood moon, and this is just a super rare moon. It is a moon that is intensely powerful and leads us towards optimism, non-judgmental, ways of thinking of things, and positivity. We want to be more laid back during this time. We want to seek out adventure, and we want to seek out wisdom. It says here to look at the bigger picture as the supermoon brings to us what we are attracting to ourselves. So it brings to us what we are thinking about. It brings to us what we are worrying about, because this moon is also an astoundingly emotional moon. Okay, it's idealistic, and we're going to find that we are going to be engaged more with our emotions and the way people play off our emotions than anything else. Now, because the moon is squared Jupiter during this time, we have to be very, very mindful, right, of news and revelations coming to us that are being exaggerated, because we're going to have a tendency to act emotionally anyway and have those emotions be exaggerated during this time. We have to just be mindful of this. Now, with this lunar eclipse is going to very much affect Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. We have Virgo in our public arena, so we can see right here in our way that we look at the world and in the way that we're guided by the world. This moon is going to be affecting us strongly. Now, there's also a solar eclipse on the 10th of June, which is when the new moon is. So we also need to be mindful during this time with the signs of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. They're also going to be very affected by the solar eclipse. So if we have these in our charts, let's just be aware of where they fall. Emotions are running high. This is amplified by the full moon being in Sagittarius, by the moon being squared Jupiter. So our emotions are really going to be kind of taking the front seat. And this is going to be a time where we need to be fair. We need to be very mindful of what our emotions are attracting to us and why. This is a time where conclusions are within reach because of the lunar eclipse, because it is a full lunar eclipse. And this is going to be a time where things start to come to a head. And this moon, because it is in Sagittarius, it says, what is the truth that I'm going to get out of this? With this lunar eclipse, conclusions are within reach. The Sagittarius energy is saying, look at the bigger picture. Look at, what it is that we're desiring. Look at what we're taking aim of. Instead of just the bullseye, look at everything around that can kind of come into the line with our arrow, and let us be prepared. So with this, we're going to find the area that needs profound change is going to come up the most, and we're not going to be able to ignore it. Now, with the new moon in Gemini, communication is key. And with the lunar eclipse, we need to kind of step back and see what it is that we desire, where it is that we want to be, and again, the profound change that needs to come forward. That is going to be very, very, very important to us during this time. Communication is key. The words that we are using are going to be key, not only in our relation to everybody else, but also to what we need and where we're headed. New beginnings come, the unexpected starts to happen, and we're going to start to see things moving in a way that we hadn't anticipated. Now, with the full moon in Capricorn, this happens on the 24th of June. And this is going to tell us that the end of a tough cycle is approaching, but it's also going to bring us into a very grounded space. And because this time is going to be very powerful for us, it's going to be also very emotional for us, because it's with Capricorn. The full moon is in Capricorn, but also the sun is in Cancer. They're going to play off each other rather intensely. We're going to have things saying, okay, let me be structured, let me be, let it all be steady. And then we're going to have our emotions coming out and saying, okay, well, what do I need emotionally to really make this happen? And we can see our emotions and we can see our practicality at odds. During this time, the full moon is in Sagittarius and the sun is in Gemini. These are actually sister signs, and they play off each other because of that. They highlight this exquisite sense of communication, this exquisite, needing to know more. And the new moon in Gemini is going to bring that up even more. It's like, I want to dig deeper, I want to dig deeper. Capricorn wants to make that solid foundation. So what we're going to see here is this beautiful progress. Now, in May, the spirit animals for May are the beaver spirit and the elk spirit. Now, I do not have an elk in my deck, and before I use the antelope, but this time I'm using the stag because it just leaped out so beautifully. And the elk spirit says that we're entering into a time of plenty and that everything you need will come. So the stag here says, take a leap. Take the leap. It is time to leap forward. It's time to go after, because we are entering into this time of plenty. And the beaver spirit, where it says lay the solid foundation, which is astoundingly important to us, it's time to trust our own creativity and accomplishments through compromise, but also through that communicative aspect of life, that sense of, I don't know everything. Let me look, let me see, let me, discover. And it's motivating us to take a leap. And so with this time of plenty coming, it's like this is one of the best times to take the leap. And with this full moon in Sagittarius, with its benevolence, with its optimism, there we go, with its optimism, with its non-judgmental state, this is a time where we can feel astoundingly positive and we can really let the wisdom come forward. Now with the eagle spirit, right? Now these are the spirit animals for June. The deer spirit says, bring a gentle touch. The eagle spirit says, spirit has your back. Now, with the deer spirit amplifies sensitivity, intuition, and gentleness, and also fertility. So anything that we want to create during this time, the deer spirit watches over it. In Buddhism, the deer symbolizes harmony, happiness, peace, and longevity. So we really have this sense of peace, harmony, this steadiness guiding us forward. Now, the eagle spirit is all about leadership and authority. In Native American belief, this bird was closely linked with the creator and also seen as the messenger. So spirit has your back means, quite literally, it's the eagle spirit is bringing us messages from the divine, from the creator, and they are symbols and link us to courage, strength, and wisdom. So we have this power coming forward, and we have this real sense of power here within the tarot. Now, let us look at the chakra energy for this time to see exactly how all of this links to us emotionally. Because, well, we definitely can see it with the cards, but let's look at the chakra energy. What is the chakra energy for Aries for May, during the May 2021 full moon? Aries, May 2021 full moon. Aries, May 2021 full moon. These two just came right out. We have here forgiveness and meditation, the heart chakra, and the crown chakra. This is a time to forgive. And it's not simply forgiving others, though that is important. It's forgiving ourselves with the weight and the burdens that we carry. This is time to look at the bigger picture. This is time to move towards harmony, towards peace, towards understanding. It's taking this rare time and not letting it fall apart. As we embrace meditation, as we embrace this connectivity of heart, this power of the mind, we start to see the heart and the mind coming together, which is going to be very important for us during this time. We are getting a gift, and if we do not sit in meditation and do not embrace forgiveness, we will not be able to take this gift, and it becomes very challenging for us because this gift does not feel like a gift. It feels like another burden put on our plate. It feels like another trial, another tribulation, and this is going to be something that's going to be very important for us to really look at. What is it that I desire? What is it right now that I'm having to put up with, that I'm having to handle, that I don't want to, that's overwhelming for me? But is it going to help me in the long run? There's very much a sense here, do not throw the baby out with the bathwater. This is a time to step back. This is a time to embrace more peace, more love, more connection, because with this gift that comes in, that again does not feel like a gift, it is time to start looking at what we have succeeded at. It's not time to look more at what I need to do, more work, more time, more effort, just go, go, go. It's like, look at what I've accomplished. Look at what is desired. We're going to want to look at the bigger picture, right, with Sagittarius, but not to get so caught up in the big picture of this full moon that we forget the present, because that is going to be very demoralizing for us. To forget the present and only look at the hope and the dream for the future puts way too much pressure on us, puts way too much hurt and pain and disappointment. Now is a time to take in what we have and say, yes, I did this well. Yes, I get to have this success. Yes, I'm going to look at the bigger picture, but right now I'm looking at this present moment and saying, well done, and let me celebrate it. That's going to be so important during this time, because the Ace of Swords is handing us this gift of knowledge, handing us this gift of understanding. It's cutting through doubts and fears within ourselves, ways that we can't see things correctly. This is because we need not to be as emotionally invested in things as we are. Not taking it personally, but looking at it logically and saying, okay, well, maybe at times I can't devoid the logic from the personal. That makes sense. That's why we need the meditation. That's why the crown chakra right here, the crown of ourselves, is focusing on the heart. The light is at the heart, so that our mind and our heart start to connect and we aren't overpowered, because that's what leads us to needing to forgive the past mistakes, the doubts, the fears, the angers, the upset. The Ace of Swords is cutting through so much nonsense, so much malarkey, that things start to become more clear, more insightful, and more honest for us. This is a gift from divinity, and it gives us wisdom. But this is also saying, look at your breath. When you get stressed out, do you hold your breath? Because I know that's something that I definitely do. And I never realized how important the breath was until relatively recently. This is a time where we realize how important our body is, how important our mind is, how important the way we take care of ourselves are. And then we start to see ourselves empowered, emboldened. We start to make the corrections that need to be made. And then we start to see things more reasonably, more honestly, and more powerfully for us. This leads us to a time with our inner selves where we have to be very honest. What is it that moves me forward? What is it that guides me? What is it that is my success? This is also going to be a time where we're looking at institutions, where we're looking at ways of doing things, ways of seeing things, and we're seeing it in different lights. We're seeing it in different empowerments and different ways forward, different reasonings coming forward. With the Hierophant, this is a time where we start to unlock a lot that has been hidden from us, a lot that is absolutely vital for us to be who we are. We all have things as individuals where if I cross this line, I cross a huge part of who I am. If I do it this way, then I leave a part of me behind. And during this moon, during this time, during this intensity, we need to be very mindful of not getting swept away with things, not getting swept away in other people's battles or other people's worlds, and really looking at ours and saying what is important and what is imperative to me. There's a great sense of power here. There's a great sense of insight. And this is a time where this energy of cool logic, but also, profound stabilization really starts to come into play. And it leads us to the world opening up because we're connected with the institutions. We're seeing things more logically. We're seeing things more openly. And if we step back and not divorce ourselves from our emotions, but say, I understand my emotions. I understand how I feel, but I also need to understand the empowerment for me to move forward towards what I want within this world. Because there's something here, and we're going to go deeper, but there's something here that gets unlocked. There's something here where it's not what we originally thought it was. And all of a sudden, we start to go back to the person that we were before we lost the way, before we got caught up in everybody else's way of looking at things in everybody else's world, because our heart is opening up to our own. Our heart is looking at ourselves and saying, this is what I want. This is what I desire. I'm turning inward. I'm connecting with me, my roots, the seeds that I am planting, the way that I am growing my life, myself, my hopes, my dreams. And I'm really letting that become a part of me. I'm really letting that open to what I need within this world and starting to celebrate myself. There is a time here, and it's going to come forward rather powerfully, where we start to look at things and it's like, well, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I need. Like, my soul isn't singing. Why isn't it singing? Why isn't it guiding me? Why isn't it being right anymore? And so we're going to make a change that really does start to lead us into celebration. And it comes not from looking at everybody else, but it comes from looking at the bigger picture of what we want. And it's funny because we look at the bigger picture. We have that link to this full moon in Sagittarius, but it also makes the picture smaller because it makes the picture about our world and not about everybody else's. So that's going to be something, Aries, where we might feel, oh my gosh, I'm letting other people down. I'm not upholding my side of the bargain. Actually, this makes us better people in the long run. It just absolutely does. God, source, spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, hands you a gift of passion, of creativity. This is that fertile energy really coming forward that we see because of of this lunar eclipse, because of this time. And we start to really say, this is me, this is what I desire, this is what I want. It's amplified by the deer spirit. And we take this magic and we really do run with it. We take this creation and we really do evolve with it. There is this sense of power and courage being with us. There is this sense of integrity and understanding. There is this sense of, I'm not walking the path for anybody else, though we are very much seen during this time because of the Hierophant and because of the Hermit. Both are masculine energy cards. This is a mutable time, all right? Sagittarius energy is mutable. It's time to be more fluid, to adapt, to not let the sign burn us up, to not let our own fire energy amplify the fire energy of Sagittarius, and let this all just be like a comet shooting through the sky. What we want to do is we want to harness this energy, harness this insight, and move with it in this kind of mercurial, fluid, beautiful way. It's this, not in the mercurial of like it leading to madness, in just the way that it can break off and ebb and flow and come together. And that's what I'm seeing here so clearly for you, Aries. It's very much the sense of passion, of insights, of ideas, of paths that other people would say, well, why are you doing that? Or, oh, that won't get you the attention that you need. But it winds up being one of the best things for you. And it winds up being one of the most insightful things for you. It starts to open up the doors. It starts to open up your eyes. This isn't a time in the public arena where you need to be in everybody's face. This is a time where you're really going to really step back, say, this is what I need to be doing right now. Like it, fine. Don't like it, I don't really care. I need to do this for me. I need to embrace this passion, this power, this insight. If you're working in a team, this is a time where you might take that team in a different direction than they were planning. There could be a side project that you're doing here, and all of a sudden the creative juices are flowing, and there's inspiration like there hasn't been before. There's this sense of this gaining, this becoming, this insightful understanding. Run with it. Let it open up your eyes. Look at things and let this creative energy come forward. Yeah, because it really is going to have you standing out. Maybe not in a way that you realize or in a way that people say, but in a way of the soul that leads you towards greater gifts, greater happenings, and greater power forward. So we're going to get some clarity here. Please define the tradition. The tradition of Aries that cannot be turned away from. Please define the tradition of Aries that cannot be turned away from. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. It's the magician. It's the magic. It's the sense of wonderment. It is the fact that it is not always going to be as it seems. That there is a standing before the altar of your existence, of calling forward this sense of, this is who I am and this is what I want. As above, so below. As I believe it, so it becomes. And we saw that with this moon. This is a time of what we believe, what we're emotionally invested in. It starts to come true because of the supermoon. What is attracted to us? What are we attracting? Why are we attracting it? What is important? Why is it important to us? And with this moon, always with the full moon, we always need to surrender to the divine because that's where our power comes from. The new moon always brings new beginnings. So here with our magic coming forward, with us looking at our kind of God-given talents, our divinely given talents, and being able to see where we stand and why we stand for it, what we desire, what we want, what we need, this starts to open up our eyes. Now let us see, how does Aries claim the power of the magician through the moon? How does Aries claim the power of the magician through the moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay, so these two cards came forward, fell out. And it's through wisdom and it's through pleasure. It's through being able to embrace joy, being able to embrace laughter and beauty, but also sensuality, pleasure. One of the things that we forget about Taurus energy is that it's astoundingly sensual energy. We tend to think of it being rules. We tend to think of it being structures, everything like that. But for a Taurian, to not have sensuality in their life, to not have beauty, is to be cut off from something that is intrinsically important to their soul. So that's going to be one of the things that's really coming forward during this time, especially if you're on the cusp of Taurus or if you have strong Taurus energy within your chart. But at this time, Aries, I just see this sort of desire to have this rugged kind of tent situation, to be the general out in the field, but to have this tent that seems very sparse and very, cut off. But what we're going to need is a kind of command post that makes us feel at home, that makes us feel surrounded by beautiful things, that makes us feel as if there is a beautiful thing worth fighting for, that we're looking at. Because this starts to make us wise. This starts to connect us with things that ground us, that root us, but have severe and intrinsic importance to us. So how through wisdom and pleasure does this moon guide Aries? How through wisdom and pleasure does this moon guide Aries? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Yeah, it lets you know that you're safe. You and your loved ones are safe. And that's going to be a very important thing from this time in the world, from everything that's going on, just in life in general. Just to know that I am safe, that I am secure, that there is this substance to my existence. That is going to be important. And if you're saying here, Dane, I don't have that, there's just this kind of insecurity to this time, or this kind of fluidity to this time where nothing seems to be stable. We need to then start implementing rituals, routines, things to stabilize ourselves, to amplify our blessings. Okay. What knowledge is revealed to Aries as they turn inward? What knowledge is revealed to Aries as they turn inward? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The Page of Cups. It's being a student of our emotions. It's having insight come from the most unlikely of places. It's a bit of the whimsical. It's the connection with the heart. It is the power of the soul. That starts to open up our world because we're emotionally connecting to things more honestly. And we're letting our emotions have a say. We're not letting anybody else control our emotions or let our outrage, boil over because of one thing or another. It's like, no, this is my heart. This is my soul. This is myself. And there is power in the vibrational energy that I let off. And I'm connecting with that fully, honestly, spiritually, and profoundly. And it leads us then. So how, during this time, does a spiritual connection to emotions? No. How during this time does the moon spiritually connect with our emotions? How during this time does the moon spiritually connect with our emotions? Angels spiritually connect with Aries emotions. How during this time does the moon spiritually connect with Aries emotions? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. It brings new beginnings. It's the power of the new moon coming forward. So during this time, especially in the public arena, the new moon is on the 10th of June. We can feel this new beginning coming forward around this time, but also see ourselves moving towards a change. And it can be that around the 10th of June, we start to see ourselves changing, start to see ourselves walking through a portal, a way of being, a greater understanding. And that's how the moon emotionally connects with us. It brings us a new beginning. It brings us a new phase in life. How does this new phase in life affect Aries? How does this new phase in life affect Aries? How does this new phase in life affect Aries? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The new moon eclipse, which is so very interesting because this is all leading us to the new moon, again, on the 10th of June. And the new moon, this new moon eclipse, powerful changes coming. Well, on this day is a solar eclipse. So this solar eclipse brings a powerful change. It brings us to expect the unexpected, to, push out of our comfort zone. This moon is calling us towards change, but also towards power. It's going to be energizing us in a way that we're not expecting, but also in a way that if we're moon sensitive, has to be acknowledged. Okay. How does Aries claim the tremendous power in the public arena? How does Aries claim this tremendous power in the public arena? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. The Knight of Cups. It all comes back to emotions. And that's why meditation and forgiveness is going to be so important to us, because here we're looking back. We're moving forward, but we're looking back. So if we do not forgive the pains or the hurts or the misguidedness of the past, we will not be able to move forward in the present. And that's going to be the power that we have. The power to move towards what is desired, the power to claim our passion, but we have to be in the present, or else we'll start to muck things up, because we'll start to repeat the pains of the past, because they'll be at the forefront of our minds. And during this time, what is at the forefront of our mind is what we create within our world. It leads us then to saying, how does this moon grant us our power? How does this moon grant us our power? How does this moon grant Aries their power? How does this moon grant Aries their power? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Through extremes. Okay, so what we have to be mindful of, because of the fire energy of this full moon, because of the fire energy of ourselves, we can be very drawn into the extremes. That's going to be where our power comes from. That's going to be the adaptability, that kind of sense of being able almost to shapeshift into situations and ideas, and be very malleable and moldable and just brilliant. So this is going to be a time where we really connect with that brilliance, but we have to be mindful of the extremes. So how can we temper? How does this moon help us temper? How can this moon temper these extremes? How can this moon temper these extremes? How can this moon temper these extremes for Aries? How can this moon temper these extremes for Aries? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. What do you need to release? That's what this lunar eclipse is all about. What is coming to a head, okay? Because with Sagittarius, with this moon being in Sagittarius, it means that the truth has to come out. What needs to be released? What have we been holding on to for too long that has stopped us from embracing the profound change that is coming, and that has made the gift feel more like a burden? Okay. And let's just end here with the energy that we need to be mindful of, Aries. What is the energy that Aries needs to be mindful of during the May 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. The King of Pentacles. Being too focused on the prosperity. Now, it can be on our own prosperity. It can be on the prosperity of others. It can be judging, like letting jealousy come forward and not seeing how everything that we are doing is putting us in the right place for where we are right now. So just being mindful of that is going to be very, very, very important. Our subconscious message for this time from the moon is balance. Balance within the extremes, especially within the public arena as we're moving forward, but also balance as we're looking in towards ourselves and as we're rooted in our celebration and acceptance of the gifts that are guiding us forward, but that we didn't ask for. So again, it's the gifts that don't feel like gifts. We didn't ask for the gift. We didn't ask for life to progress this way, but we are empowered by the way that life is progressing. It moves us then to knowing that a new start is coming. Again, connecting us with the new moon. The new moon is going to be very important. Before, especially in our heart, in our emotional self, it brought us to new beginnings. But now, subconsciously, it's to know that a new start is coming, that we're being prepared for something greater, something more aligned with our spirit, with our soul, with our courage, with our strength, with our wisdom. And it's the wisdom of our inner self. Because, the moon controls the tides. And we have the tides within us. We have our blood within us. We have the water within us. And so the moon calls to us in a way that is profound and extreme and different and beautiful. And here, it's to know that that call is leading us towards newer beginnings, towards newer paths forward. Our subconscious chakra message is again the crown chakra. I am presence. How are we crowning ourselves? How are we talking to ourselves? What is it that I say I am? Am I blessing? Am I strength? Am I beauty? Am I tired? Am I overwhelmed? Am I chaotic? Okay? Am I just hanging on by a thread? Am I angry? And why I say the negative? Because people say, Dane, why do you say the negative as well as the positive? Well, the positive, when people say the positive, it's very easy to agree. And I love it when people say the positive and I'm sitting there and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. But then they start to name the negative things. And I have to be real with myself and say, oh yeah, I feel that way. Or, oh yeah, I just said that 5 seconds ago. And so naming the negative part of the I am presence within us is calling ourselves out, because we need to be held accountable for the hurtful way that we speak to ourselves. And by doing so, we need to be empowered and emboldened. So the I am presence is, how am I crowning myself? How am I standing in my truth, in my glory, in my passion, in my understanding, and ruling my world? It leads us then to our subconscious negative energy. And that's the Queen of Pentacles. Again, it's linked to money. It's linked to what we value as much as money. It's going to be linked to jealousy on this earthly plane. That's really coming through very strongly. So it's needing to step back and bless those who have more, but also bless those who have less, and say, go on your way, be happy, be healthy. I will move forward in mine. And it's not, just saying, free for all, fend for yourselves. It's really wishing people well, because we can get very, very caught up in things during this time astoundingly easily. Our subconscious tarot message begins with the Four of Swords. We need to rest, and we need to come into alignment with ourselves. If we don't honor the hard roads that we've been through, we will not honor the power of this moon. And then finally, the subconscious message for this whole entire time is the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is being able to acknowledge those people who celebrate us, who stand by us, and who stand with us. But it's also knowing that we have had people in our lives that we think should have stood by us, because they were loved ones, family members, partners, they should have been there, and they just couldn't. And saying that is part of their journey. And the hurt that they left is, yes, part of mine, but it's not going to be what defines me anymore. The Three of Cups is saying, I've lived through pain, I've lived through hurt, I'm stronger. I might be a little less trusting because of it, but I know how to rely on myself, call upon my power, and move me forward as I connect to divinity and as I connect to my soul and what I greatly long for. All right, Aries, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power of this moon. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries, and may you have a blessed moon.